If you fell down yesterday, stand up today. Take a deep breath and start again. Namaskar everyone. Welcome to Headlines of the Day. In this video, we are going to discuss major headlines of the Hindu. And our first important headline is Acid Attack Case, Poisons Act invoked, victim still in shock. It is available on page number 2 and here related to paper 2, government policies and interventions say. In this article, we have to know what is the law on acid attacks and what is the law on regulations of acid sales. तो फ्रेंड्स इसको हमारी वेबसाइट पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर किया गया है एंड लिंक अवेलेबल करा दिया गया है डिस्क्रिप्शन में. उसके अलावा अगर हम ओवरव्यू देखें तो until 2013 acid attacks were not treated as separate crimes. However, following amendments carried out in IPC, acid attacks were put under a separate section 326A of the IPC and made punishable with a minimum imprisonment of 10 years, which is extendable to life along with fine. Our next important headline is Nod for 30% quota in government jobs for Uttarakhand women. It is available on page number 4 and here related paper to government policies and interventions. In this article, we have to know objectives and features of Uttarakhand Public Services Horizontal Reservation for Women Bill 2022. So friends, recently Governor of Uttarakhand gave the nod to Uttarakhand Public Service Bill 2022 and now the women candidates with Uttarakhand state domicile got the legal right to 30% of reservation in public services and posts, right? Our next important headline is Study sheds light on how black bug survives challenges. It is available on page number 5 and here related to paper 3 environment section say. In this article we have to know about black bug. So friends, recently researchers found that in spite of immense losses in grassland habitats across India, black bugs seem to have well adapted to human-altered landscapes and their numbers are beginning to show an upward trend. And do you know friends, black bug is found only in the Indian subcontinent and they are mainly seen in 3 broad clusters across India that pertain to northern, southern and eastern regions. Our next important headline is The Beginning of India's Cultural Renaissance. It is available on page number 6 and here related to paper 1 Art and Culture say. In this article, we have to know about Kashi Tamil Sangamam, its significance, ancient links and future prospects. तो फ्रेंड्स इसको हमारी वेबसाइट पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर किया गया है एंड लिंक यू नो कि कहाँ मिलेगा. बाकी कुछ पॉइंट्स आप यहाँ से भी देख सकते हैं. अगर हम ओवरव्यू देखें तो काशी तमिल संगमम was proposed by the high powered committee for the promotion of Indian languages appointed by Ministry of Education and it is an attempt to bring a cultural renaissance that will unite the country and connect different languages, right? Baki other points you can go through this article. Our next important headline is Barking Up the Wrong Tree. It is available on page number 7 and here related to paper 2 Polity and Governance. In this article, we have to know how significant is the migrant vote and what is the Election Commission's proposal for remote electronic voting machine and what are the hurdles and what next. So friends, Election Commission of India has proposed a newly devised remote electronic voting machine for domestic migrants and under this, people need not to travel to their home state or district to cast their votes. It will be done through the remote electronic voting machines, right? Baki other points you can go through this article. Our next important headline is The Stalemate Between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. It is available on page number 8 and here related to paper 2 Polity and Governance. In this article, we have to know why there is conflict between the two states in dividing assets and liabilities and what are the governments of both states claiming and what have been recommendations of the expert committee on asset division and what lies ahead. तो दोस्तों ये सारे पॉइंट्स लाइन बाय लाइन यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर्ड हैं. आप एक बार देख लीजिएगा, एकदम स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आर्टिकल है. ठीक. Our next important headline is RBI's revised guidelines for locker management. It is available on page number 8 and here related to paper 3 economy section say. In this article, we have to know how are the rules changing for banks and customers and why has there been a revision in guidelines and which judgment fueled these changes and what is term deposit. So friends, RBI's revised guidelines aim to enhance the safety, transparency and effective management of safe deposit lockers provided by banks and banks would now be allowed to obtain a term deposit at the time of allotment to a customer and now while allotting lockers, bank have to enter into an agreement with the customers on duty stamped paper with a copy being provided to both parties. Baki other points you can go through this article. Our next important headline is The Union Government Sends Out Message of Unity and Confluence. It is available on page number 9 and here related to paper 2 Constitution say. In this article, we have to know about the meaning of union and center, differences and what does the Constitution of India say, intent of Constituent Assembly and way ahead. तो दोस्तों ये सारे पॉइंट्स लाइन बाय लाइन यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर्ड हैं. बाकी अगर हम ओवरव्यू देखें तो the term center is absent in the Constitution as Constituent Assembly did not want to centralize power and emphasize at that that time was on the consolidation of various provinces and territories to form a strong united country. ठीक? Our next important headline is DAC gives nod to purchase indigenous defense systems. It is available on page number 10 and year related to paper 3 defense section से. In this article, we have to know what are the key highlights and objectives of the recent decision of Defense Acquisition Council. So friends, recently Defense Acquisition Council accorded acceptance of necessity for 3 capital acquisition proposals, and these include helicopter launch Nag anti-tank guided missile, very short range air defense systems, and BrahMos cruise missile launcher and fire control system for naval ships. Right? Baki other points you can go through this article. Our next and last important headline is Constitution Bench to take up Section 6A of Citizenship Act for preliminary determination. It is available on page number 10 and here related paper 2 polity and governance. In this article, we have to know about the Section 6A of the Citizenship Act 1955. So friends, Section 6A was introduced in the 1985 when Assam Accord was signed by inserting special provision into the Citizenship Act of 1955, and under Section 6A, foreigners who had entered Assam before January 1st, 1966 and had been ordinarily resident in the state would have all rights and obligations of Indian citizens, and those who had entered the state between January 1st, 1966 and March 25, 1971 would have the same rights and obligations except that they would not be able to vote for 10 years, right? So friends, आज के लिए इतना ही. Thanks for listening. For regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.